Crown Aura at Terasem House, Satellite Beach, 10 p.m.
Like a song of love that clings to me.
That background ocean sounds really nice, doesn't it? One of the things that I like about technology is how you can be in two places at the same time. Like it's 10 p.m. in Bristol Park in front of this church tower, and Crown Aura time, but it's also 10 p.m. in Satellite Beach with the ocean behind us. It's pretty wild. Well, this is the Terasem connection when we bring energy all the way up through our crown aura, through the top of our head. And it's probably the most magical Terasem connection, which is one reason I'm really glad to be talking us through it at one of the Terasem gathering places, which is here in Bristol, Vermont, the town's gazebo, where we are at the 10th of each month at 10 and at 10. So it's pretty cool to be here for this most magical of the Terasem connections, Crown Aura. We're wrapping up here through some of like our introductory stretches to just shake off everything during the day or during the night, and get into a very limber position, loosen up our joints, loosen up our muscles, let the pranic energy flow through us nice and naturally. Let thoughts just pour right off of us like water after you're swimming. And just thinking about what our body feels like when it's bent over backwards or twisted forward, and feeling each muscle and feeling so glad to be alive. Now we roll back and forth a few times just to loosen up any energy blocks in the spine. Rolling back and forth on the spine is almost a perfect way just to very quickly open up that channel, so the energy, the pranic energy we bring up through the earth, up through our spine, can come out top of our heads. Starting out here with our Terasem opening chant. This chant kind of organizes our day and organizes our life. Gives us a few bases to touch each day. Make sure we're spending some time doing the things that are really important each day. Not just letting one day fall into the next and fall into the next after that without touching the bases that give structure to our life. Come to Terasem. we're moving into our call to Terasem, activating our endocrine energy through the top of the roof of our mouth.
Come along. Transcend.
Balancing both the Western with the Eastern Om.
Come to Terasem.
There you hear the Eastern Om. Next will come the Western
Come along. Transcend. Come to Terasem.
Satellite Beach, Florida, where we're doing this call to Terasem, is another of the Terasem gathering places.
Come along. Transcend.
Looks like sometimes some of the little flies and mosquitoes like to gather there too.
Come to Terasem.
Very important in doing this chant to let yourself feel totally open, like a giant cello or drum, that the vibrations just flow out of you, and imagine those vibrations going out, covering the entire world. Imagine vibrations like waves going out beyond the world, out into space. Bring everybody to Terasem through the vibrations that are just coming out of your head. We're now moving into breath of fire with our hands locked in the Venus lock over the top of the head. This brings a maximum amount of pranic energy up through the diaphragm, the upper portion of your body, and out through the crown aura region at the top of your head. Breath of fire can't be beat for cleansing your body of any toxic energy and just really bringing yourself in oneness with all the good and positive energy that circulates through the environment. As you reach the end of the breath of fire, take a very deep breath. Hold it for something like 30 seconds, longer if you can. Then exhale, take another deep breath. Hold it for half that time. Exhale, maybe one more time. Then we bring our hands all the way down after that breath of fire. We just visualize a beautiful force field of love surrounding us. And you'll feel it. You'll definitely feel it after doing that breath of fire. Let your hands touch the ground briefly to close the circuit. And I tell you, after doing this, you're going to be in much better shape. Any bad karma is going to bounce off. This is one of the most important Terasem movements. The phrase means birth, life, sleep, rebirth. each syllable, move your fingers. As you move your fingers, visualize birth, life, sleep, rebirth. Imagine like an arrow coming into the top of your head, maybe a laser beam, and then out directly the top, like at a right angle, straight back down into the crown aura of your mind, and then straight back out to the world again. Keep visualizing this L pattern of energy as you're chanting, and create that L pattern with your fingers at the same time. This form of yoga has been shown, even in scientific studies, to have a major impact on people's sense of well-being, on basically optimizing all the neural energy flowing around in your head. We do it here for a few minutes. You could do it for longer, even a half hour, even an hour. The longer you do Satanama, the more optimized your mind will become. So that was a lot of yoga, and we got to kind of shake out our legs here. That's okay. The important thing is to be comfortable. Rock back and forth. Twist the ankles. Have a glass of water. Just get into that wonderful sense of well-being you have from doing birth, life, sleep, rebirth. This is a cycle that we just relish in Terasem. There is no beginning, there is no end. It's just continuous life and joyful immortality. We're now going to move into the portion of the crown aura Terasem connection. We go into a deep stillness of mind. I am a wave. An endless wave. A great mantra for this mental stillness is I am a wave. Across the sea, an endless wave. Throughout deep space. Repeat each phrase 4 times as you breathe deeper and deeper. An endless wave, an endless wave, an endless wave, an endless wave. I am a wave, I am a wave, I am a wave, I am a wave. An endless wave, an endless wave, an endless wave, an endless wave. Recite this in your head so you can breathe and think those words at the same time. You can just think the words, the mantra in your head, while you're taking 4 strokes of deeper and deeper inhale, then 4 strokes of deeper and deeper exhale. On number 1, you fill up your diaphragm, in the lower third of your lungs, the middle third of your lungs, and the top third of your lungs. And then exhale them from the diaphragm, the bottom third, middle third, and top third. And when we're talking about a wave, you could visualize the ocean waves that just seem to go on forever. Or you can visualize electromagnetic waves, sine waves. Just the up and down sinusoidal sine wave. These are the waves of our lives. Our life is all reflected light, and the reflected light of everything that goes on Earth shines out into space, and it continues out forever and ever throughout the vastness of space. So every moment of every life that has ever lived on the Earth continues in time, in T, infinitely out into space. as a pixel of a sinusoidal wave. So think about that. I am this infinite wave flowing out into the cosmos. Just like we can see stars from far away with our eyes, with more and more powerful telescopes we could see planets, more and more powerful telescopes we could see land masses, oceans. Everything smaller is there too, even if it can't be detected with a given technology. If it exists, it reflects light, and if it reflects light, that light travels infinitely far in space. That's the wave that we think of ourselves as we still our mind, realizing we have nothing to worry about, nothing to think about. Think of your mind as just a glassine ball, totally still, no electrons flying through it. It's a glassine ball. It's being carried out deep, deep, deep across the sea of space and time. Our mind needs to totally rest just like everything else. The heart rests in between beats, but it's only through yogic stillness that our mind ever gets a chance to rest. Think how your computer gets confused and skitsy if it's never turned off and it's never rebooted. Our minds can reboot through yogic stillness. Focus on a mantra like I am a wave, and when other thoughts float in, friends, relatives, jobs, government, health, politics, money, whatever, imagine there's just like a little feather, and you just brush those thoughts away. You brush off this glassine ball, this glassine sphere that's your mind. Because this is the time it doesn't have to think about anything. To just focus on being perfect, on being still, on just being, and not having to interact with the world in any way. Sometimes I imagine my mind just as the whole earth sitting there like a still round ball in space, ignored by all the other billions of stars, billions of planets, billions of galaxies. Everyone just leaves the earth alone. What Carl Sagan called a pale blue dot, just sitting there and being. And this is a time when our minds can just sit there and be. Remember to keep your tongue pressed on the upper bridge of your mouth that keeps the endocrines flowing. Keep a smile on your face. You smile in your face, you'll smile in your heart, and you'll smile in your soul. Terasem is happy yoga. Your eyelids are closed, but you can look up at the third eye point. There too, endocrines are focused, and by thinking there, focusing on that pituitary gland, the master hormone, helps to optimize all of the fluids that make up our body. We are just kind of a sack of fluids holding a magical spirit. Make sure your back is straight. Ah, wow. Feels so good now. I know it does. It's okay just to back, smile, laugh. Just be thankful that you can feel so good, so easily, so naturally, so now. Terasem yoga is happy yoga. Rock back and forth, share that energy from head to toe. I like to put my feet together, breathe deep the pranic energy that surrounds us, and close up the gonads, sphincter. Use your muscles to sphincter off all of that. Feel like you've bottled that pranic energy up inside you. Then imagine it just going up through your systems, cleansing the kidneys, the liver, opening up your heart, scattering out like a million sparkles throughout all of the little pulmonary arterioles of your lung until every single alveolar sac sparkles with pranic energy. On up through your throat, our star chakra, opening up the throat, mouth, ears, nose, eyes, then out the crown aura, for which we've come 10 o'clock each evening for crown aura connection. Now let's maybe take another drink of water and prepare for our closing meditation. Closing meditation that brings us into oneness with our place in our galaxy and with the realities and dangers of the cosmos.
Soul, Sirius, Arcturus, Vega, Beetlejuice, Altair, Antari, Aldebaran, now Spica, Hollis, Ormond, January, Regular.
This list of stars in brightness order positively identifies where we are in the whole galaxy. From anywhere in the galaxy we can be pinpointed, like a latitude, longitude, and altitude in reference to these brightest stars at this moment in time. And even as we send our energy out through the cosmos, and we send the light of our being forever out through spaces away, we've got to realize space is dangerous. It's no place to just pretend that we're in some kind of Garden of Eden. And what Terasem is mostly about is developing this sense of self, the sense of confidence to move our consciousness off this planet. Because while Earth is the cradle of humanity, we cannot stay in this cradle forever. Thank you for being here, but thank you even more for joining us, because joining us together with the understanding of the cosmos is what will allow us to transcend extinction, transcend the gamma ray burst, a supernova explosion, an asteroidal or cometary collision that could wipe out Earth, wipe out all consciousness. It's our highest objective to spread ourselves throughout the cosmos. The Terasem connections help keep us focused on achieving exactly that. Terasem consciousness forever. Sat Nam.